Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Banished. We're playing the Colonial Charter mod, version 1.6, the Forge Awakens, and we're in our town of Ramlington that has just seen a little bit of a renovation. Spent the last couple of episodes taking out this forest node and putting in all the forestry products, in a sense. The firewood to charcoal. We've got a couple different ways to make furnace fuel. We're going to be putting in a couple of joiners. We've got the cooper over here. That's a stockpile. And I'm trying to think of who sent me a note. Can't think now. Was there someone mentioned that you can get more than one woodcutter in these guys? I didn't realize that. It seems like Banished Vanilla, or the original Banished, only allowed one in each. But now we can go up to two. So with two woodcutters in each one, that should help to increase our productivity. I think I'm still going to let the choppers come in, though. We've already got them queued up. He is building it, right? Oh, I see. He's walking over to do this. It was kind of, before we started, I was kind of roaming through the town here, and it was suggested that we shut down the construction on the central markets, and I've been resisting that, thinking that they would get this built over here while we were working over there, and by the time all that got done, we'd come over here and these would just be popping in and we'd be, up and running. All of this stuff is still queued up over here to be taken out, all the raw resources, and all of this time they're still bringing, well, they were still bringing supplies over. Now it just dawned on me what's going on. We've been held up all this time because we've got a shortage of lumber. We've got 20 in each, and that's about it. There's 10 lumber left in the town. So I'm going to go ahead and put these guys on pause so that these 10 builders are available elsewhere. But we need to really start thinking about lumber. Lumber had been coming out of here, but of course we're moving all of the wood industry out into this direction, which is over here. And lumber is made from logs, and we have none. Our log stockpile, we have none. So the next challenge, even though we've got 4 forest nodes over here, 2 hardwood, 2 regular logs, how do we get this stuff out of the forest? So, been thinking about that. This guy over here, the distribution barn, whatever is dropped off in here, that's what this employee, I took it down to 1 off camera, that's what this employee goes and gets rid of. And most of the time he just takes it over to here and drops it off. So we've got heating oil and glassware and all kinds of stuff sitting over here, because that's where he has chosen as his closest place to get rid of things. I am guessing, I don't know for certain, but I'm guessing that this will accept logs. What if, oops, that's going to mess me up later. What if this stockpile here wasn't a stockpile? What if it was a distribution barn? All of the logs being cut out of here would drop into it, and that employee would haul it off to either to here, or he would haul it off to the first available storage barn. What did that say? To empty it into the next nearest regular storage location. Okay. Is that any kind of storage like that? Don't know, but it might be the vehicle to get this thing moved out of here. And if that's the case, we might get rid of all of these stockpiles and put distribution barns up and just send all the material out there with a vendor making the deliveries. This might be the place where they'll drop them off. Yeah, they may dump here until it fills, which would fill pretty quickly. But I want to experiment with that. I want to find out if that works. So this one we can delete right off the bat. There's nothing in it. And let's put a distribution barn right here. Where is that? Right there. So this guy, right up on the road. we'll do one space off the road. Any reason to go further? Where are the roads from this area? The roads go straight through. And this guy, we sent a diagonal down into it from something like that. So this whole area should be available. So distribution barn, we'll do something like that. So that one is one curiosity that I've got. Is this the way to do what I was wanting to do? We were trying to find a way over here to draw that stuff to it, but maybe what I needed was something that would send it to us. Maybe that was the answer all along. It could have been. What else is going on? There were comments about reminders to get storage out into this area, because we did quickly queue up a couple of gatherer huts. One there, and there's one over here. So we do need food storage for that. And again, would the distribution barn be the answer to that too? That might be worth at least experimenting with. This one roads into here and then roads up to there. So this one's a further distance away. Let's put a distribution barn next to this one. And we'll just wait and see. I don't know what exactly goes or does not go into the distribution barn. Meaning, I'm guessing iron ore doesn't go in there. I'm guessing stone does not go in there, because neither will go into these. Into, we get iron ore out of here? I don't think I've ever seen the ores and the stones in any of the markets. So let's check one more. So iron tools and iron. So no stone and no iron ore. So we are still going to need to maintain some stockpiles out over here for those random things. But I'm guessing most everything else that could land into a storage barn could land into this distribution barn. And maybe that is going to move product for us. If it does, then that's a new tool that we'll have at our disposal for, throughout the entire game. Anyway, so that's the gatherer's huts. I guess I should leave that going. This one, leave that one up there too. Now we just threw these guys in, but we are really hurting on lumber, and we need to get logs to this area for these 3 woodcutters at the sawmill to even use. So they're busy running off into the woods trying to find logs. And there's another one, I think he was up in here trying to find logs. We got 8 left over here. So that was that challenge to work with. I guess while I'm talking I can have this guy at least running on 1. Now 2. What else is there to catch up on? So storage for the gatherers. So let's put that distribution barn in there. That was where? Was that one? Yeah, so the other gatherer is here. Let's get a regular storage barn in for here. Let's see, right there. We'll get that into that area. That's the road. And yeah, that works. Okay. Again, we have a lot of buildings queued up. 58 jobs for 10 laborers, or 10 builders. So we're not expecting a miracle here. It's going to take quite a while. And after I finally get everything laid out, then I'll kick the speed back up. Joiner. Okay, we have a joiner. Let's turn off. He's here somewhere. This one? This one. Let's turn this guy off. And we're going to start making furniture out over here. And he automatically moved over and went to work. I don't think we need 2 employees here. Mostly this is used to make the home wares, the not building supplies, but the... Is there another example of it? I want to say homewares, is that the word? The title? Homewares, yeah. So, and then the other furniture would make the fancy homewares. Of course, we've still got to get silverware or pewterware to finish this cycle. So, putting this guy in is not really going to answer anything yet, or solve anything. But he's waiting for lumber as well. Much of what we've queued up is waiting for lumber. So we've kind of hit a stumbling block here. We need to get this guy going and producing considerable amount of goods. Now, where is this going to be stored? This is a fuel stockpile. This is a material stockpile. I'm thinking he could store there. Now, this is called just a wood stockpile. I don't know with certainty that lumber doesn't land in wood. Is this just the resource, or is it also the product? So we'll have to kind of wait and see what's happening there. These guys are insisting on making these trips over and over again. What is being dropped off here? So you guys are walking over here and going to this one. Okay. This stockpile is getting... wonder what? Hardwoods. What is changing in here? Is anything moving in and out? I'm not seeing any changes. I don't know. Who are you? You are a child. Okay, you're just out and you're carrying something. Oh, maybe these are the folks that have moved in to the houses over here. And they're just filling their inventory. It could be something like that. Okay. We are going to need more housing out in this area as well. And we're going to need more housing for this area. We threw some in, but we really need to kind of finish off at least this perimeter right here, this circle that's under this influence. So these houses need to go in this episode, and another few houses here and there. Maybe a house at every building. That might be enough to satisfy, at least until we get going. Be a second house when we get enough employees to actually max all these buildings out. But we could do that. And let's do a stone house. We'll save our logs. Or does that take even... Stone house takes 35 logs, and a wooden house takes 16 logs. Isn't that odd? So if you want to save logs, you put a wood house in. Okay. We'll do that. And yeah, something like that. And over here, there's the road. That house will work also for the forester over here too. Forester Lodge. Okay, so we got a couple houses for this group. Alright, so that is all of the stockpiles. A barn, a distribution barn. We put two of those in, here and here. And extra housing. I did want to put hunting in here too, but I think we can do without that just yet. We're down to 22,000 on food, but I think this is the first year we've actually got all of the crops and fields, whatnot, orchards all up and running again. This one's having problems. We're going to have to go through and replant all this when the silkworm eggs finally arrive. But once this harvest comes in, then we'll see what we're truly up against on food. And we shut down food for a couple of years. We had a huge surplus. So a couple of years worth of food shutting down left quite the drop here. And if you look at this at 10 years, it looks pretty bad. Although if you go out to 25 years and kind of track where we would have been if we didn't have this surge, we're kind of landing with where we are right now. So if this levels off and continues on up, we'd be right on track of where we were heading originally. So not too concerned there. Housing, 87 families to 66 houses. So yeah, it is time to throw another, at least, yeah, maybe as much as 10 houses in. I was so tempted to push that X. I don't know why it is. It is so strange how I just want to turn that window off. It's such a, I don't know, it's a draw to go over there. Okay, coke fuel was another question that came up. The stacks burner here. So this will make coke fuel out of coal. And it was brought up that we don't have coal in this area, and that's right, we don't. It will make charcoal out of logs just the same way that the brickworks will. charcoal, 5 logs. So we may as well just save this one here as a third source of charcoal, should we ever get to the point where we really have that much need. So what I think I'll do is, first of all, I want to take out at least one of these brickworks. We're not making charcoal down here anymore. And I don't think we'll ever need to be making 3 buildings worth of bricks. So let's get rid of one of these. That one will save in case we do want to turn on at least 2 buildings worth of bricks. But right now we'll just mothball it. So over here we're making all of our furnace fuels on the other side now. Though I'm thinking we do have the ability to make it out of coal and out of coke. So maybe we will maintain one of these. Let's see, leave him off. Get rid of this one. And that stacks burner that makes the coke out of coal could take the place right here. And then out of... Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works. We'll pop it in here as just the ability to have it later if we need it. Though it doesn't have to go in anytime soon. And let's see, there was something else I was wanting to move over here. Well, we do know we don't need this anymore, so this joiner goes away. So it's time to kind of start cleaning up this area. What are you? You're a weaver. You are the home supplier, homewares, and you are needing furniture. Okay. So, do we want to move him and him over there? I think not. Before I turned the episode on, this guy making the building supplies was using lumber. I switched him out to brick, glass, and iron. So that's going to save some of our lumber, which means more would be able to be delivered to some of these other places. This guy making homewares, I think he can stay over here. Furniture's out over there, but pottery's over here, so it's a toss-up. So we'll just maintain that in this area. What else is over here? You're a question mark because you're a joiner, and you're using hardwoods. Oh, because we switched you to fancy furniture. Okay, you're actually going to be going away now because we've got you over on the other side. So both of these go away. You guys are what? Candleries or chandleries, made out of tallow and made out of beeswax. How are we doing? We have some of each in stock. The tallow is making 24 and 36. The beeswax is making 20 and 32. So roughly the same. Don't know if that's good or bad. I don't remember what the first years were like to be able to compare. You are having a problem because of what? Don't know, but your problem is gone. So, you were in the middle of doing something else for a little while, and we've got Blossy the Shoreman has died of old age. Alright, we've got a good run of laborers available now. Good, good, good. So, what else is going on? So just kind of looking at my list here. So storage is good, though how is our storage in here? We did put these guys in, which are these 3 here. What was that one? A death? A forester was killed by a falling tree. Okay. So we've got this storage here. These guys, fuel refinery, all the stuff is able to be stored here, the material warehouse. It's most likely going to get dumped over here into the material stockpile. Or, even closer yet, would be this distribution barn. That would be the best. If they would dump into here, then he'll send it on its way. The joiner, the other joiner is up and running. Alright, so we're going to grab another employee. Why are there 2 already? There's one working here. Where's the other one working? Who does that share with? Because both of our joiners over here are being torn down. So nobody here is working there. Joiner Cooper? Sawmill. Cooper. That must be it right there. Dry goods. No, that's materials. So if I were to increase this one, Oh, this is tough when so many buildings randomly share with other buildings. So I just threw another one in. I didn't get a question mark over here of someone wondering where he's supposed to work. So now we have 3 people, and only one is actually working as a joiner. Alright, so who do we have over here that has 3 people employed? 3 of 3 cleric. Okay, that is the church system. 3 of 4 joiners. Alright, now I'm confused. Alright, we don't have more joiners somewhere on the map that I'm not aware of, right? So one is working between those 2. These are turned off. It can't still be counting in any way, can it? Hit the reclaim and turn you off. Hit the reclaim and turn you off. Does that do the job? Was that my error? And no, it isn't. Joiners are still 3 out of 4. Okay, let's see what our trader wants. Bison, leghorn, and llamas. Now we're going to say no thank you. That didn't work. So many times in this game I've got to click twice. It's almost like I hit it as I'm moving and it doesn't count it or something. But I've noticed that I've always got to go back and hit it another time. Alright. What else counts as a joiner? There's a smithy. Here's our joiners. These guys are refineries. I know there are no other joiners. So what else is counted as a joiner? Well, I'm going to let that run for a while. If you guys know that answer, toss it into the comments if by the end of the episode we haven't figured that out. I'm not going to turn him on yet, because I want to be reminded that there's something odd going on here. Brickworks is not it. There's 3 people and we have 3 brickworks running. The stacks burner is off. There's 3 people employed. No, 3. It's calling for... no, it's 3 employed. 3 employed. So what is a... okay, that doesn't help. Wonder what this employee would be called. Is he part of this system here? They both make charcoal. That would make sense. So if I turned him on and popped this up, this guy would go to 4. Yeah, so okay. Brickworks is in cahoots with the stacks burner. Alright. And fuel refinery, we got 2 working in each. And I think we're doing actually okay on fuel. The furnace fuel. If I recall, turn that down here. Let's go check that out. I don't think I need 4 of them up and running. I think we can use those elsewhere. We're looking for furnace fuel. There you are. 3,000. Yeah, we're doing fine on that now. Okay. So we're going to take these down to just 1 each. So a lot of this episode is going to be just kind of balancing out what we did. So the Cooper is part of what? We got 2 people working here. That's not necessary. Making crates, barrels, and casks. You know, I wouldn't mind having 3 Coopers going. I think that would work out just fine. Let's do that. So, where are you? You're here. You're right there. I kind of like that idea. So, the road is there. We'll turn 1 into the road. And 1 up like so. And we'll touch them together. And we'll extend that road right across the front of them. Like that. It's nice to be able to see the roads now. A lot of the trees are out. So we've got a a trader down there. Just looking to see the roads over here. A couple of these are ran right across this other road. Just want to make sure that it doesn't tear this out and put this in on top of it. It looks like we're consistent. Okay, so what's with this trader? Does he finally have our silkworm eggs? He's a dry goods trader. He doesn't have them, but it may be possible to order them through him. Let's find that out first. Silkworm eggs, alright. And this time I'm going to not say never. Trade, alright, anything here we really need. We could grab some silverware since we're going to be quite a while before we're ready to make it. I think that might be a good idea. So silverware, don't think. He also had pewterware. We'll do both. Have those in so we can get some fancy fancy homewares going. So what else are we looking at here that's interesting? Pottery you don't need. I'm not sure what you use pearls for. Or gemstones. I'm thinking this is only a trading thing. Though we could take a rough gemstone and polish it up and sell it later. Feathers, wool, salt, reeds. We're not making rope out of reeds anymore, so we won't buy those. Oh! Will you look at that? I didn't even see those in the list. There's our silkworm eggs. Let's do that. We'll grab all of those. In fact, that's enough to do what we need to do. And then we'll turn off that order. Alright, so we've got our silkworm eggs. So we're at... and there's hemp. Let's buy that. Just because we don't have any coming in any other way. We'll just have that stored somewhere. Alright, so 35.60. Let's see if we can track that down without using much food. Though we did jump from 20,000 to 23,000, just like that. Let's see, I am engaged. Click away. Now I can pause. Interesting, it would not let me use the keyboard. Alright, so we're looking at 35.60. Food is on its way back up. I think we're definitely going to be fine with food. I'm not going to touch firewood unless I have to. Now I don't want to hit mulberry leaves up. So let's see. Glass. Let's pin this so I can take a quick peek at things. There you are. Glass, how we doing? 300 and something. Yeah. Let's do a 100 of those. Furniture. Guess I should just leave you open. I haven't really done an inventory lately to see where we're at on things. So furniture, do we have barely any? Barely any. Okay, I'm not going to touch the furniture. Wool coats. Well, it was the other one that we sold 300 last time. 0. Yeah, we've pretty much taken them out. We're not making them anymore, right? Let me think about that. No, we still have a normal tailor going. So we should be making them. We'll have to check into that. But we'll go ahead and spend some wool coats. Say 200. That gets us there. Okay. Is there anything else we wanted to use instead? No marble statues left. Candles. There are candles over here. There we are. 500. We could do the candles and save some of the wool coats. So let's just start backing this down till we get close. Need 60 more to make a trade. So that's value of 50. So 4 more. Is that right? Here, delete 4. There we go. Alright, so trade and orders. Turn off silkworms and back to never, just in case it just once tries to bring us a whole bunch of things that aren't selected. I'm tired of little glitches. So otherwise we're done there. Dismiss him and turn you guys back on. And let's go down there and prioritize them. Though I think they would automatically be prioritized because they are the oldest building projects left. But let's just make sure. Turn that on. Now what are you? You're the weaver who's waiting for them. So before we forget to turn you back on, let's just do it. Alright, so that's up and going now. Turn this off. Wool coats, what was with that? What looks like the old tailor building? That's near here. There you are. You're making wool coats. Okay. So, limit of 350. We're at almost 350, which means it's almost entirely cloth down coats. That's filling it up. So let's just kick this up a couple notches here. And we've got gobs and gobs of storage. There's probably no reason to have these lower limits on... Where am I looking at? Here? Yeah, we'll kick that up a couple as well. So there wasn't a problem, but there might be someday. So, where is that? You're queued up. Who's walking in there to do that job? You're still working, even though you're not working on that one. Okay. Same thing. You're on your way. Here we go. You're heading into the right part of town. So, gathering food. Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait until all these folks are finished with their original projects. So, I don't think I need to see these anymore, though it is good to notice that all the building materials are in. The sawmill is over there. That's why these are already satisfied, even though these haven't been yet. So, these buildings should build the fastest. So we're putting in the other 2 coopers, so we'll get one of all 3 of the possible things being built. And so I was talking about storage. Are we satisfied with the storage in this area? Don't know. Let's just see what happens. Let's let all this get up and operating. Then we'll make that judgment. We're good here. Where do we want to spread this labor out to? We could dump some more. We don't need this anymore. Could dump some more into the farming community. But let's employ these 2. Okay. We're up and running. Now what are our choices? We're going to use mulberry leaves for silk cocoons, or we can use them to get more silkworms. I am assuming that you eat silkworms. Or you use the silkworms. Okay. The cocoons are what we want. You can make more eggs in order to make more buildings. What do you use the silkworms themselves for? So I guess we're just going to sit here and watch this and see how this works. We've got plenty of mulberry leaves, so it's time to turn this back on. So set that to work. And let's go ahead and cut what is here so we can get a brand new crop coming in. And then we'll just kind of keep an eye on this right here. Let's pop one of them into inventory. And the other one, we'll watch this view. I'm curious to see if silkworms pop in to make the cocoons. You know, that might be it. That may have something to do with it. You got to make the silkworms. No, we're making cocoons without it. Okay, so I'll let you guys fill in the blank for me. I understand the cocoons, and I understand the eggs. What's with the silkworms? I'm guessing that's a food, or it's something that you sell. But I'm not sure, because without making silkworms, we are making cocoons. Same here. Okay. Though we made a previous season... Oh, I see, we just switched. Interesting. Okay. So we are making silk cocoons. And so I'll go ahead and turn that one off. We'll leave one up to continue to watch it, which means this weaver, out of silk cocoons, is going to start making silk. So soon we're going to want to be making some kind of clothes out of silk. Silk and linen gives you full livery. But the only one? It's the only silk I'm seeing on here. At the very least, we'll be able to sell it too. Alright, so a merchant has arrived. What have we got here? Bison, beef, cows, and pigs. Alright, we'll dismiss you. And with that, what else needs to be accomplished? Let me go back to the list I never got back to you. So the lumber, let me turn this back on, turn it down a little bit. So storage, I think we're good with right now. Housing, that was the other one. Distribution barns. Any of these been built yet? No. So it's going to be a while before all this stuff goes in. We could kick in a bunch more builders. Maybe that's our issue right now. We could also bring these foresters back up, so we can make sure that our logs are coming in abundance. Lost you. There you are. So 12. Let's go to 16. So lots of logs. There it goes. I did it. It was just a matter of time. There we go. Laborers. All right, you back down to the 10 builders. We'll do that. And so we could use probably another house or two out here because we've just increased all this other stuff. Food has dropped again. So gatherers, let's put a priority on the gatherers' huts. You and you. We need to get a more constant supply of food in. Choppers. Not yet. You guys are backups. We've got 2 people working in each of these. We do not. We've set it to be capable of it. We didn't actually move them in. Okay. So that's there, that's there. So we'll use these guys for now. And if we find that we're still falling way behind on firewood, then we'll switch over to the choppers. We'll just leave them installed. Laborers are dropping fast. So, yeah, that was the boost of foresters. We'll leave that for now. Leave that for now. I want to get some housing set before we shut this episode down. But what was with this guy? Whale blubber, smoked cheese. So he's bringing in goods importer, venison, a lot of meats that are not that are expensive. Although there's something to be said for buying all of the meats that we can, which can be converted into something that sells for a higher price. I like that. Let's do that. But then I need to remember to get those things into the markets to sell them at the higher price. 500, 500. Bacon. Who can resist that? Alright, we've got to get the bacon. Lobsters, pickled eggs, lobster. Ooh. Okay. Venison. That's all of the basic meats. There's no mutton or anything like that. Okay. So, get rid of 1,400 in what? Well, do we have any of the chops out here? We do, but not very many. So we need to change those numbers. So after this episode, I'll probably hop in there and kind of rebalance that stuff. Venison cuts, do 100 of those. Alright, so candles we had quite a few of, if I recall. We could do a bunch of those. There's 800. We'll do 50 in candles. And what else can we do that's not going to harm us? Let's see. Coffee beans. Yeah, we're going to kind of stay away from using food if we can. Furniture, we were quite low on, though that is going to be fixed here soon. So let's put 20 furniture in, see where that takes us. That's getting us there. Glass, what did I say last time in glass? There was 300 and some? Yeah, so let's do, what are we short on? 240? So 6 goes into there. 40 or 400? 400? 40. 40, yeah. One too many zeros. Alright, that's good then. And we'll trade that, so we got lots of basic meats for our butchers to be using. Alright, so let's concentrate now on housing. But before I do, I just want to take a peek over here. What has happened? They did clear this out. Alright, so they have been working over here. So we have not brought over the other lumber yet, nor to these other ones. How are we doing on lumber? Reserve of logs is low. Okay, so it's a good thing that we put in the foresters when we did. But lumber, I was thinking about something else as I was doing this. We got a bunch of lumber now. I think what I'm going to do is slow down the production of these fuels. I'm thinking we don't need... That's not what I wanted. Let's calm you down. Did we ever figure out what the... Oh, that was the brickworks. It was this guy that was still the question mark. I still don't know where the other two guys are working. So what shares with joiner and is called a joiner, but it isn't the cooper? Let's see. Go ahead and pop in the other... What are you guys using? Using logs. Okay. So you are going to make barrels, and you are going to make casks. And one of one, one of one, and one of one. So that is one too many, right? Okay, we're sharing with somebody. Do we have a cooper? We don't. That's a 4 now. And that's a 4. If I increase that to 5, they are sharing. Aha! Okay. For some reason I didn't catch that before when I was playing around back and forth. Wow, everybody's dying off. That is quite a wave. Okay. So we're using logs to do these 3 buildings. We're using firewood. No, we're using logs for these 2 buildings. So we've got a huge pole of logs out of here. We're using logs for this building. We could do lumber out of hardwood. And we've got a lot of hardwood floating around. Let's do that for a while. We can't do anything out of hardwood over here. What we can do... Oh, we never set him. He's supposed to be making fancy furniture. Okay. So, furniture, fancy furniture. You're going to make lumber out of hardwood for a while. And let's see here. Brickworks. You're using logs for charcoal. We're only going to do 1 now. Not going to deal with you. And I'm going to take firewood down to just 1 each. I'm going to calm down the use of our logs right now. We've got a lot of building projects grabbing a lot of logs too. So we need to get ahead of this wave of logs and get the economy finally balanced out so the amount of logs coming in finally starts to equal what's actually being used. Right now that we've got this huge surge going on. Gatherers. That's where we really need to be putting a lot of our labor right now. So let's do something. Let's kind of short circuit this whole thing. I want to do something a little bit different. Foresters, I'm going to take you back down. Oh, we'll do something like that so we can get more laborers, so we can queue up a bunch of trees and get a surge of logs coming in. And where is that going to be? Where's our circle here? Small market. I don't care about that circle. This circle. So that right there. Let's queue up some trees. Okay. Let's do that. Now I can see it. Trees. We can take out this swath over here. We can take out this swath over here. Alright, so let's just grab some trees from around the map. Big chunks over here. Fine. And let's just get logs artificially dumped into the whole area. So, got lots of trees over here. They'll be doing these trees throughout the next episode too. I understand that. But by then, by the time they finish all of these trees, we will have probably finished a lot of these buildings. We'll kind of be getting back to some kind of normal again. Alright. Well, tell you what. Next episode, we'll get some housing in. That's what it's looking like. I need to call this one done. We're about 45 minutes into it. So let's put a pause right there, and I think I'm just going to sit down and continue recording. We'll get one more episode in. For me, it'll be one big session. For you guys, it'll be a couple of days. But I'll go ahead and get some housing in over in here. Probably some more housing in down in here. Kind of finish this little area. Did we ever get the housing in over here? We queued up 4 of them, and they haven't completed bringing things over. They kind of got stuck at the lumber. Yeah, lumber's an issue. So since we're going to be bringing a bunch of logs in locally, let's go ahead and kick up the sawmill over here. Get one more employee going over here and get even more lumber. That's right, we had lumber. I take that back. We did have lumber. We had over 300 sitting in our economy. We just aren't delivering it. I did it again. I did it again. That's a song, right? Okay. Yeah, now we've got laborers. We had dropped down quite a bit. All right. So, in that case, I'm just going to stop right here. I thank you guys for watching. This has been Noble Rambler. Hit the like and subscribe if you would. I'd really appreciate it. And we will catch you next time. Bye-bye now.